So we're back today with another video on my R32 Skyline. So today we're going to be prepping the engine bay for paint and hopefully getting some primer on it. I've actually spent like pretty much all week, every night after work, cleaning the engine bay, like degreasing the whole thing, like it was absolutely filthy, and just grinding down any like surface rust that was on the car or in the engine bay. So pretty much got all that sussed. Now it pretty much just needs one more final sort of just clean, and then I'll probably give it like a light sand just so the primer sticks to it. So I'm going to use a etching primer first over the whole bay, and then I got this it's like a filler primer. Put that over the top of that, and then we'll do probably 2 layers of black. Decided to go with black just because it's grey at the moment, and for how dirty it actually got. I mean, I guess it's 20-25 years or so of dirt, because I don't think anyone's ever cleaned it. But yeah, it'll just probably make it look cleaner for longer, instead of if I use a light colour it will be harder to maintain that, to keep it clean. So yeah, I'll show you what the engine bay looks like now, and then we'll get into it. Alright, so this is where we're currently at. I mean, all the strut towers were just like black, and same with the rails, they were just completely black. So yeah, degreased all that and got it all back to very much looking like the factory colour. So yeah, I'm going to give it one final clean. I've been using like Scotch Brite pads to clean it all with, so it kind of will scuff the paint a little bit. And yeah, then we'll give it a light sand. So yeah, we'll just give it one final clean, and then give it a bit of a water blast. Then I'll wait for it to dry and sort of use some compressed air just to blow the any water off, and then hopefully to help it to dry faster. And then yeah, and then hopefully we can look at getting some primer onto it. So engine bay has had pretty much its final clean. So yeah, I've cleaned it about 3 times. So it's looking good now. So I've just I got this grinding disc, pulling like a flat disc, I think, just an 80 grit, and yeah, just tidied all that up. Tidied where there's a bit of surface rust around the bolts, where the bolts go in, and yeah, just a few other bits in the engine bay. So it's looking pretty good now. So now I'm just going to give the whole engine bay a light sand. I've just got some, doesn't even say on that one. Yeah, P400 sandpaper. So just give the whole thing a light sand, so that way the primer will stick to the paint. Now that we've given the whole engine bay a light sand with our sandpaper, now I'm just going to mask everything up. Got some tin foil, aluminum foil seems to work best for those things that are hard to mask up with tape. You can just wrap it in this. So yeah, we'll mask all that up, and then we should be good to go. So I've got it all masked up. Tin foil works mint, just nice and easy. So we'll just sort of tie up that brake line a little bit, or to the ceiling or something, and same with that throttle cable, so they're out of the way. And then we'll just blow it all off with the compressed air, and then make sure it's completely dry, and then I'll hit it with some wax and grease remover. Should be good to go. Using just some etching primer first. Do 1 coat of that, make sure it's a good coat, and then we'll use the filler primer over the top of that, and then we'll probably do a layer of maybe a light sand before top coat. Not sure yet, we'll see how we go. So yeah, we'll get into it. ready to hit it with the primer filler. So just using this acrylic primer filler. So hopefully that'll just fill any imperfections in the engine bay. So yeah, we'll apply that now. Alright, so we got the filler primer on. It actually came out quite weird. I shook the can for ages, but it sort of comes out quite thick. So I think you're only meant to just sort of cover it with like a light covering, but like as you can see over here, I was like really trying to get it that yellow color. So next thing I'm going to do is give it a light sand with like some 600 grit sandpaper, and then we'll hit it with some color. Right, so I've just sanded the whole engine bay, that filler primer down, because when it dries it's kind of like quite rough. So I just used some 400 grit sandpaper, just got over the whole engine bay and got it all nice and smooth. So yeah, it's all just sanded it all, got it all real nice and smooth. So now I'll just hit it with some compressed air, blow all the dust off, and make sure there's no dust anywhere, and then we can hit it with some colour. So it is now painted. Just check it out. It turned out pretty nice. So that's just, I've only done one coat. Just tried to make sure I got good coverage everywhere. As it's quite easy to see with using that filler primer, as it's yellow, so if you've missed any bits, yeah, you can see when you spray it with the colour. So I'll probably let this dry, to be honest, for today, and then tomorrow night I'll hit it with another coat of black. Yeah, catch you tomorrow. Alright guys, so it's about 2 days since I last put the first coat of paint on. So I've just now just blown it all off with air and made sure it's all clean, no dust on it. So now I'm going to hit it with another coat of black, and then yeah, that should be it before clear coat. Guys, so I've got just done the second coat with black. So it's looking pretty good. It's a bit of a mist to try and keep any like dust and stuff out of it as doing it outside, but it doesn't have to be 100% mint. I'm trying to get it as nice as I can. So yeah, it's looking, it doesn't look too much different to the first coat, but yeah, I mean it's looking real good compared to what it was. It was absolute mess and filthy, so definitely should tidy the car up a lot, with the motor looking all nice too when it goes back in. So now I'll probably let that dry for a day. Right guys, so it's the next day. I've actually pulled the car into the garage to do the clear coat, just because it was real hard yesterday to do the second layer of black paint because it was a little bit windy, and then unfortunately it was not too windy when I sprayed it, but then afterwards like dust got on it, but I just let it sit and I've just blown it off now and it hasn't stuck in the paint, which is good. So yeah, just to avoid the final layer of clear coat being full of dust and whatnot, I thought I'd just drag it inside, make sure everything in the garage that is not good to have overspray on is covered, and yeah, so we're gonna hit it with some clear coat now, and yeah, then it should be done. Alright guys, so I've done the clear coat, it's looking good, so I'm just going to wait for that to dry. So yeah, that pretty much sums up this video about painting the engine bay. So remember to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. We'll catch you next time.